been so long since I've sat down and put together a video. Anyway, today, hello. Welcome to a new cosplay walkthrough. We are going to be making my dream cosplay today, which is Jenny Wakeman from My Life as a Teenage Robot. Okay, so a little bit about why I chose this cosplay. I mean, obviously, My Life as a Teenage Robot is an underrated classic. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. It's on Paramount Plus in the US, and it's on YouTube in Canada. So I've been rewatching it all recently. I was determined to get through like all 3 seasons and all that. I've been coming back to it over the years, like when I was making my Aragon cosplay, I had it on in the background. You don't have to pay like too close attention to it, but like just enough attention to it that you're like still invested. So it's just a nice, comforting, fun thing to put on in the background while working on cosplay. So over the years, I've had many different like time periods where I've just like gravitated back to it and have watched it and then been like, oh, this is great, I should cosplay it. But then I was like too scared to cosplay it because it was like really daunting because like I'm not good at building armor and stuff. So that was the main thing that was keeping me from doing it. Every other part of it seemed, aside from the wig, it seemed pretty doable, but like her little like armor boot thingies were like, how am I gonna do this? So this year I finally decided to do like a full watch through of the series. I really like Jenny a lot. I think she's just, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but I think what probably resonates with me is the fact that she is bullied and I was bullied in school. I guess it's not that deep, but like, yeah, she's the victim of bullying. I was the victim of bullying and just wanted to like, you know, be liked and didn't have a lot of friends growing up. So I think that probably has something to do with it. And I just love that like she's dealing with like being a robot in a human world, and I just think that's just like a really cool dynamic and like really cool kind of character arc to have. So yeah, so the plan for this cosplay was to debut it at Emerald City Comic Con this year, which I did end up doing. It actually all came together very, very easily. Enough rambling, let's just jump right into it.
Okay, so first I'm starting with the top. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using this pattern, but only for the bodice. So I'm going to be making just like this part, so without the sleeves and without the collar. So it's just going to be like a nice fitted top. So what I have here are the various pieces. So this is the back, this is the side back, this is the side front, and this is the front. This one will be cut on a fold, so it will be one big piece, and then all that gets sewn together and makes a shirt. So let's get into it.
So next thing I did is I took the edges of the cosplay. So over here are the armholes, and then this is the bottom of the bodice, and I just folded those under and sewed them down to make a nice clean edge. Then I sewed in the zipper. And here's the finished bodice, very nice. Then for the skirt, I just used a skirt that I already had. That was a pleather skirt, and just used that for my pattern. So here I am cutting it out. Then I sewed that all together. Then I sewed in the zipper, folded the bottom under, and then sewed that down to make a clean edge. Same with the top, and here is the finished bodice and skirt. Then for the bolts, what I did is I took some buttons, just some plain buttons, and covered them in the pleather. So I'm just Gorilla Gluing some pleather to the buttons. And then I just drew the line on with Sharpie. Then for the bodysuit, to make the little joints, I sewed some elastic to the elbows of the bodysuit. Then here I am sewing the little belly button bolts, that's a lot of bees, onto the bodysuit. Oh, that's another bee, wow. amazing. Then I made some gloves to avoid having to paint my hands, and I just add the little details because she has these little details on the palm of her hand. Here I am adding some elastic to the wrist, and then I did the same thing that I did to the joints of the bodysuit. I just added some elastic to the fingers. Here I am making the bolts for the hair, so I did the same thing I did for the belly button one. Then I started styling the wig. So the first thing I did is I teased the heck out of those pigtails because I really wanted them to be as voluptuous as I could make them. I don't have a lot of experience with wig styling, so they could probably be more voluptuous, but like I did my best, and I sprayed those to keep their shape. Then the next thing I did is I just sewed the bolts directly into the pigtails, just hand sewing it through the mesh. And here's the finished wig, very cute. Then these boots that I got online, I just painted using leather paint, and this was actually a very satisfying process. And that is a little look at me making my Jenny cosplay. Yeah! Lots of great reactions wearing this to Emerald City Comic Con. I was very happy with how many people recognized it. Putting the cosplay together ended up actually being so straightforward. Like I did like the wig, crop top, bodysuit in like 2.5 days. And that was not me rushing it. That was just like literally how it all came together. The boots, the most difficult part about the boots was just waiting for them to arrive, like the base boots that I bought. And the other thing that happened, which I'm so salty about, is my friend recommended that I use a very specific type of leather paint for it. I forget the name of it, so I'll put it on screen here. And I thought I would need so much because they're huge boots. And so I bought 4 cans of it, containers, that's the word. And they're like that small. So they're very tiny containers. So I'm thinking I'm gonna need so much of it. And I only ended up using like 3/4 of a container of the paint. And I ended up buying 4. So any friends watching, if you need blue leather paint, please hit me up because I have so much for no reason. I was so salty about that. But yeah, it's a great paint, the paint that I used. It goes a long way, as I learned, and it was very easy to work with, stayed on fantastic. I mean, obviously like the high movement areas, like right around the ankle, did chip away, not chip away, but like rubbed off. But aside from that, it all looks really good. So this ended up being like a really simple cosplay, despite being like my dream cosplay, because it was my dream cosplay because I didn't know how I was going to do the boots. Foam building, like I figured that I'd be able to, you know, make it happen, but I wasn't sure how. And kind of circling back to that, I originally was going to work with foam, like I was researching foam. I bought like a pattern off Etsy for making boots like that. I was like set to go. But then I realized that making like foam boots was going to severely minimize how many cons I could take that cosplay to. So I'd have to take them to cons that I was like getting driven to or doing locally. It's not often that I take a car to cons, so it would have to be something that I could take on a plane or take on a transit or a train or something like that, right? So I decided to do the boots instead because I figured that would be more packable, and it ended up being very good. The only downside to those boots is that they're very uncomfortable to wear. Oh my gosh. Like if you're wondering how uncomfortable they are that uncomfortable. Like it's not great. It didn't take very long for my feet to get tired wearing them, but you know, we suffer for our cosplay and that's all right. I think they look very futuristic and very robotic, which is great. Would a foam boot be better? Absolutely. But like, again, it was either do a foam boot and barely get to wear the cosplay, or do the go-go boots and be able to wear it to many different other cons. So anyway, that's my sum up of this cosplay. I'm very happy that I finally got to cosplay her. And yeah. If you are new here and you'd like to see more videos like this, I put out new videos every Sunday, except for when I don't. I put out new videos pretty much every Sunday, and it'd be awesome to have you here, so feel free to subscribe to see more. Thanks as always for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys all next time. Until then, Panda Faces, please be sure to take care. Bye!